Advisors face several unique challenges when trying to run their practice today. So I'm joined by Pete Hess, Chief Revenue Officer of North America for InvestCloud, to learn a little bit more. Pete, love having you here to be able to talk about topics like this.
Thanks, Shannon. It's great to be here.
So let's dive right into it. It's a bit of a loaded question, but what are some of the challenges that advisors are facing right now?
I mean, it's a great time to be an advisor. Wealth management as an industry is thriving, especially in this down market. Everybody recognizes they need some help. And so there's a lot of competition for new investors, and also there's a lot of competition for top advisors from firms that are recruiting advisors. So, so the backdrop is actually really exciting, but I think the interesting thing is when you look at some of the statistics, 51% of advisors that are looking to switch the firms that they work for are doing so because they don't like the technology that they're using. And so advisor time is the most valuable asset that a wealth management firm has. And advisors are spending way too much time doing things manually and trying to navigate through different systems that don't speak well with each other, but also create an experience, a user experience that's totally disjointed. And so rather than, persevere through that, a lot of advisors say, to hell with it, I'm going to have, delegate it to my team. So I think one of the biggest challenges that advisors face these days is the technology that they use.
Yes, I agree, and I always joke because I say that advisors have the sorest necks out of anyone because they are doing that swivel chair thing between different systems, and we still have a ways to go, it seems like, in the industry of really facilitating that seamless, frictionless experience.
Absolutely. It's the single pane of glass that they all want, where they can look at the information that's relevant and just the information that's relevant, take the actions that they need to take and not be burdened with a bunch of other complex capabilities that frankly may not be suitable for them. So creating an experience like that is not easy to do, but that's, I think, where everybody's trying to get to.
And speaking of experience, we obviously have to talk about data, another big challenge and pain point essentially for advisors because they have so many inflows now from different systems. Even if one little thing is off, if you're John A. Smith or John Smith in one system, you can't reconcile all of that. So talk to me about some of the challenges on that side of things when it comes to data.
Yeah, I think the experience is this disjointed experience I talked about. It's the byproduct of the point solution technology architecture that most wealth firms are using. You have different systems that solve different problems: financial planning, client relationship management, performance, trading, etc. And they all run on their own databases. And the problem is, if you want to have that experience that is contiguous, intuitive across the workflow, the way an advisor works, you've got to get all that data into one place to enable that kind of experience. And so the challenge of having these disparate databases is that they don't often stay in sync. They store redundant information, but they fall out of sync, so then you don't know where the truth lies. And those are some of the challenges that InvestCloud that we focus on. We have a mechanism, a digital warehouse, where we bring the data together, and then we can create specific user experiences that are actually intuitive because of that centralized data approach.
Okay, so there is hope out there then,
yes.
If that's the case.
Yes.
So I would imagine then that you're probably focusing on AI as well to help solve for these challenges. What's your perspective there?
So AI, I do think there are great opportunities with AI in wealth management, and so much of what we do at InvestCloud is get that data into that central place. Once that data is in the central place, you have the ability to actually do some pretty cool things from an analytics perspective and from an AI standpoint. Some of the things that we've done are prescribe next best actions based on the usage patterns that we actually track in our software from investors and from advisors. So based on what they look at, we then can manifest next best actions and content that is targeted towards that persona, that usage pattern by that end user. And that has been, I think, really helpful in achieving what we call hyper-personalization, which everybody's trying to strive. Everybody wants to try and get there, where they're leveraging their technology as much as possible to create that really unique user experience without having to pick up the phone or meet in person. Not to replace picking up the phone or meeting in person, but just providing that very consistent, personalized experience. So I think that's where AI is, that's where we're implementing AI, is to help manifest that hyper-personalization with more intuitive prescriptions of content and actions that we can prescribe based on what people are doing in the software.
Well, I know it's a trend that we will all be watching very closely, and Pete, I just want to say thank you for your insights today. Really interesting information, so thank you.
Well, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. For Edge TV, I'm Shannon Rossick.